Happy Friday. We're back to my column, What to Do, where I look at different questions on what to do with our FPL teams via socials and answer them with my expert advice. Okay, so let's just jump into it. First question, Cash or Anderson, what to do? So this one is easy. I think I like Matty Cash a lot better than Anderson. They both have good fixtures, but I just give the edge to Cash because they're playing a West Ham side away from home that has one of the poorest home records in the league. Aston Villa is flying. They've won 8 in a row in all competitions, the most since 1914. So they're in such a strong position. And then the great thing with Cash is the next fixture they have at home against Manchester United, a Manchester United team that is losing Mbumo and losing Ahmed. So, offensively, they may not be as strong. So that gives him great potential in the next two. So this one I have to edge to Cash. Arsenal is a big topic, especially this week because they're playing Wolves at home. So let's go through a few of these questions about Arsenal and what to do. So would you rather go to 2 Arsenal defenders or 2 midfielders? So in my current squad, I'm a little bit biased. I have 2 midfielders in Saka and Odegaard. If I were to do it again, I would probably switch the midfielder and do 2 Arsenal midfielders and 1 D. The only reason is the Arsenal D is decimated. It's hard to know who to start. And if you saw Arteta's presser today, he wasn't really forthcoming. A lot of us I know have Timber. So yes, you should start him because if he plays, that could be good, but he could sit out. It's really hard to guess with Arteta who's going to come in. So that's why if you go for the midfielders, you might get more minutes security there because in the event of a midfielder starting or coming off the bench, they could still haul. They could still score against this Wolves side that is extremely poor. So that's where I think playing the upside for the Arsenal mids is a little better than the defenders based on that. The next question is thoughts on Ben White on a free hit. Yeah, for sure. I like Ben White on a free hit. I'm considering a defender transfer for myself as well because I do have Calafiori in my team. So maybe I just do the switch to White. But in any case, White has looked good since coming back into the lineup. He's a little bit more attacking than Timber. And if he plays, he probably will do well because he's able to find players like he did finding Marino in the last game for Arsenal against Brentford. So White is a good attacking fullback and a great option. And then the last question, they're confused of which Arsenal defender to go with this week and who's the most nailed and who to go for. And they have Raya. Okay, so this is where I have to decide on who to go with. And I would probably say outside of Ben White, Hincapié is in a lot of people's minds, and he probably will get the start. There's a good likelihood. He's played a lot of football, though, because Gabriel's been playing. So another good option would be Miles Lewis-Skelly, as Calafiori is out of this game because he picked up the yellow card suspension. So I would say Hincapié, Miles Lewis-Skelly. So the order for me probably be Ben White, Hincapié, Miles Lewis-Skelly. Those are the order I'd go with on who to start from Arsenal. Okay, general what to do. Bench one of Rice, Foden, Bruno Guimaraes, Bruno Fernandes, Henderson, Thiago, Woltemade, and Haaland. All right, so in terms of upside, probably I've benched Anderson. Yes, he's been good, but he's the cheapest out of all of these players. So when you look at that, typically what that means is you're not expecting the most points. Of course, there are always outliers. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall has had a fantastic season, but I would start your more pricey assets, which all of these fall into. Rice is also an injury doubt, but like I mentioned in the last section, if he plays, he could get a return. But that would be something to consider. But yeah, in general, play your most expensive assets. You won't regret it. They're price premium for a reason because they're the ones who's supposed to get the most points. This next one, who should I buy in place of Gakpo? The options I'm considering right now are Wilson, Doku, or Szoboszlai. I'm going to go with C, Szoboszlai. Liverpool has been in a bad run of form, but they're still one of the top goal-scoring teams in the league. And that's what you should do when you're looking at options is looking at teams that can score the most goals, because even if their players maybe aren't stars on that team, that player can outperform just based on the team scoring a bunch of goals. So I would go with Szoboszlai. Doku and Wilson are a little bit more tricky, a little bit more of a risk in my opinion. And they also are playing away from home where Szoboszlai is playing at home. And I'm going to back the guy going on with the home fixture. And then the final question on a free hit, Cash or Gyökeres or Miles Lewis-Skelly or Watkins, exact funds for the pair. So that one's is very, very tight. my head is leaning to Miles Lewis, Skelly, and Watkins because I do like the Aston Villa fixture away from home, and I do like Watkins. He did get a rest in their Europe game, so he's looking a lot fresher. And West Ham does have that poor form at home, so I would go over that with that pair. Even though I do like Cash, Gyökeres hasn't been firing for Arsenal, and he hasn't looked that sharp, so it's a little bit too much of a risk to just put him in there and hope he scores. Of course he could, because Wolves aren't that great, but I would stick with Watkins having the upside in that pair. And now let's look at some Rate My Team. So Rate My Team, what to do. So this team, there's Leno in goal, Cash, Miles Lewis, Skelly, Chalobah, Rodgers, Fernandez, Saka, Salah, Palmer, Ekitike, and Gyökeres. Okay, the challenge with this team, too many risks. Palmer, he's not even, playing full 90s yet. Salah, we know his situation. Salah's out of the team right now. He may come back in. That's a big question mark. Ekitike is a good punt if you're punting this week. And Gyökeres, I just mentioned, he's not consistent right now. So I would find more consistent players in the midfield, such as like a Semenyo or even a Foden, to fill those Salah or Palmer slots. And then in the forward line, you could do the Watkins pick or Thiago, who has a great fixture against Brentford at home, instead of Gyökeres. I think he's more guaranteed and more nailed on, and he's on penalties too, so that could be a better pick for you in this team. And then finally, the last Rate My Team, what to do. Got 2 free transfers left. Anything else I should change? Maybe Chalobah in for Senesi. We'll be transferring Ndiaye out next game week. If not this week, probably for KDH. Yeah, so this one, the only thing is in the defense. Malik Chaw, I'd probably take out. That's going to be a tough away fixture against Sunderland. And bringing in Chalobah or Senesi for him could be a good fixture. A good change. And then, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, maybe for Rice. Maybe it's too much to double up, but maybe for Rice or Ndiaye. I like that thought because he's been in great form. Ndiaye hasn't been in great form, and he's going away to AFCON. All right, so that's it. That's my Friday column on what to do. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this content, please like and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.